I woke up this morning and saw a story that, to be very honest with you, I didn't believe when I first read it. I thought it was another kind of tabloid, clickbait, headline, gossip. And then I saw credible news sources like the Today Show, like not just online tabloidy gossip kind of columns, but then I watched one of the videos and the subject of the story confirmed it, like it came out of her own mouth. And that is that Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith have been separated and living separate lives since 2016. And I want to talk about that story here today in the Therapist React series. But first, let me reintroduce myself to anybody who's new to my page, new to the channel, new to this series. I'm Elliott Connie. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. And I want to talk about what's going on in the news. I want to talk about what's going on in pop culture to improve and increase your mental health so we can have better lives and better society. In my time in the field of psychotherapy, the majority of my work has been with couples. A lot of my work has been with couples. I've written a few books about working with couples. So just in that regard, this stood out to me and made me want to talk about it. So I want to show you one of the videos. I'm going to show you a clip of one of the videos, and I'm going to highlight something that I think is really important. I want everybody to hear. I want everybody to get and understand something about relationships.
We are back 8:14 with Carson and Hoda's exclusive interview with Jada Pinkett Smith, and everyone's going to be talking about this.
Yeah, she is one half of Hollywood's most powerful couple. She's at the center of constant gossip and controversy, including that slap at the Oscars. She was sitting right next to Will Smith. And when we met up with Jada in her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid new memoir, Worthy, she opened up about an issue that has been kept secret until now.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now.
Yes.
Y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
She goes on to talk a little bit more about how they've been living apart and why they've decided to keep this secret, why they decided not to share it with the world, and why they've decided to do what they do. And one of the things she said was, we just weren't ready. We hadn't figured out how to share this news and they weren't ready. Now, online, if you look at the comments of these videos, and one mental health tip I can tell you is don't read comments of videos. Like, I don't know why human beings are so vile, nasty, and awful in comments, but it's a very common thing. If you want to improve your mental health, don't read that stuff. It is the worst of us. But I did have a look, and there's a lot of hate going on towards Jada Pinkett Smith, like a lot of attacks and people saying horrific things. And I want to highlight something really important. The other day, a close friend of mine disclosed that he and his wife have a non-traditional set of agreements in their relationship, and I couldn't have cared less. There's one thing I've learned as someone who works with marriage and family, as a licensed counselor who does therapy with marriages and couples. There's no cookie-cutter relationship situation that works for people. Lots of people have things in their relationships that wouldn't work for other couples, and that's okay. Lots of people have non-traditional agreements and decisions in their lives, and that's okay. Lots of people have made personal choices and decisions on what they will disclose and what they will not, and that's okay. People get to make those choices for themselves and see how it works for them. I don't understand judging how someone else decides to live the most intimate parts of their lives. It actually makes no sense to me. A relationship is so intimate, it only exists between the people within it. So as long as Will and Jada Pinkett Smith are living in their relationship in a way that works for them, and they're not causing anyone else harm, they should be allowed to do that. And even if they are causing anyone else harm, that's between them and the people that are being harmed. Like the hatred and the viciousness and the people who think they have a right to speak out and say anything about this, I don't understand. I don't understand. We've got to learn that privacy is important, and the people requesting it have every right to do so in a way that works for their relationship. I actually have personal connections to both Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know every single detail about the intimate parts of their relationship, and I actually consider them to be 100% none of my business. And I wish, as people, we did a better job of understanding that this is none of our business. Now, of course, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith are two of the most famous people on the planet. And being married, it makes them one of the most famous couples on the planet. It makes them a Hollywood power couple. And there's something to say about when you become that level of fame, you lose some of your privacy. But you also have the right, and you also have the ability to decide to hold some stuff near and dear to you. You also have the right and the ability to decide some things that you will not share publicly. And I can't think of anything more appropriate to be making those decisions about than the most intimate parts of your relationship and the most intimate parts of your life. Human beings need to learn a very simple skill. Very simple, but we seem to not be very good at it. And the skill we need to learn is when we see a story where someone is discussing something that we don't agree with, that may even trigger us, is to keep scrolling. You don't have to comment, and you don't have to say negative and awful things. Every time I see one of those stories, I always have one thought, or one of those comments, one of those negative, vicious, attacking comments. I always have one thought. And that thought is, does the commenter feel better about themselves having said what they just said about someone they don't even know? They're just saying these crazy things. So I imagine that this was a really hard and difficult experience and by experience, I mean the process of deciding to end their relationship and live separate lives. I imagine that was a really hard and difficult choice between Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. But I also know it was a personal one. I also know it was a personal journey. I imagine it was very difficult and probably is exacerbated by their fame, and even more difficult today that this book has come out and Jada Pinkett Smith is now talking about it openly. Obviously, these are not perfect people. They've both made mistakes, some of them quite public. But they still have the right to choose what they will share publicly and what they will hold within. And as human beings, we need to be kinder and understand that, yep, they're famous, and yes, they're wealthy, but they're human beings with human hearts. They're human beings with real emotions. Fame and fortune do not remove your ability to experience harm and heartbreak. I was really sad when I saw this, and not sad because a marriage ended, but I was really sad because two people are being vilified for personal choices they would make in their life, and they're personal choices that anybody would make. I mean, if Will Smith was a math teacher and Jada Pinkett Smith was an accountant, they would have the ability to make this same choice. Like, who do we tell and how do we tell them, and do we want they get to make all those choices? Being famous actors and actresses doesn't like absolve you of that right. It doesn't mean they don't get to do that. So it's important, I think, that we hear that message and understand that they're humans and they deserve our kindness. So what did you think when you saw this story? What did you think when you watched this video? Please leave a comment below. I read every single comment, and I love interacting with people who watch these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Please like and share this video. Please support my channel by hitting the subscribe button. And once you do that, make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time we release a new video in the Therapist React series, which is every single day, Monday through Friday. I love y'all for your support. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.